So apparently on the Xbox Series X and S, you can preload games before they're actually inserted. This doesn't make any sense to me. So we're going to read the article and see if it makes any sense. For years, fans of physical media have been jealous of all digital users for one reason only: game preloads before day one. Okay, I'm not having any problems with the first sentence. You can preload games before you actually have them because you're purchasing them digitally. So the masters are made and the game is actually put on a server somewhere. You access your account, purchase the game, or pre-order it. Either way, it's still purchasing the game. You get the license, you get the game from the server day one, or even day zero. It could be day -1. Preloading can happen before the game license is even activated. So that's a good thing, right? No problems with that. When you pre-order a physical disc, you would have to install the game after you receive your disc and often wait for the online patch to download. On a slow network, it could mean that you will be playing your shiny new game a day later. I'm looking at you, Fallout 76 Day 1 patch. Starting this week, Xbox now allows game preloads before inserting a disc. Okay, so this doesn't make any sense. And do they allow you to preload the game before you have a license for it? Do you preload without paying? Because if that's what they're offering, that's really generous and cool. A short reminder of how disk DRM works. When you insert your Blu-ray media for the first time, your console will install the game from the optical disc to your console hard drive. Then it will start downloading the patch if you are online and if the patch exists. If there is no patch, the game will be ready for you after installation from the optical media. The game always runs from your hard drive, but you need to keep the disc inserted as proof of purchase. It's an offline game license. If you purchase the game digitally, you will get a different kind of license, one for your account and one for your console to be used offline. Offline license is used when your internet is not connected and for your family to play your games without the need to purchase again. Your account license is used by you when you log onto anyone's console other than your primary one. When you pre-order a digital game, your game will also be preloaded, I think is what they meant to say. I mean, I'm not reading this perfectly well, but whatever. This is not new. But when you pre-order a physical media, you have never been able to preload until now. Xbox now has the option to preload any game in advance, no matter if you don't own it. The only way to start the game is by giving your Xbox proof of purchase, which would be the physical media or digital purchase. So you can download games that you don't have the disc for. I'm sure that this is not going to be abused in any way. I mean, isn't it bad enough that you can download? I mean, are they really hoping that their games are that well secured or something? I don't really know. This is bizarre to me. So you can preload the game before it comes out, before you get the disc, and when you plug in your disc, it will just run. That's actually pretty nice. Problem is, this definitely makes things, they're essentially making all of their games free because people are going to take their Xbox hard drives out of their Xbox. They're going to be able to reverse engineer it, or they're just going to drag and drop their non-purchased, not their games. They're going to move them off to a hard drive, and they're going to put that hard drive onto their computer, crack the game, put it back onto the Xbox. This is going to be a feature that's going to go away, more than likely. If it doesn't go away, that'd be cool too, I guess. But I mean, by the time that Microsoft learns that this is going to be totally screwing them and their game creators and stuff, I don't know how that's going to go. I really don't. I'm not sure if this feature is going to come to PC either. That would be nice, but it would also, again, lead to cracking. Games being much more easily cracked. So I don't anticipate this is a feature that will stay with Xbox. That's the thing. So, to put this into perspective, you can download your Xbox Series X games, then migrate them to the hard drive. The hard drive might be encrypted, and we're talking about a hard drive, not a solid state drive. So we're talking about a disk, a spinning disk, media, that you plug into your Series X to move that stuff off to. PlayStation encrypts all that stuff, or they used to. Now I guess they don't do that anymore. Or they still do. That's why there's the special formatting that needs to happen. I'm not sure if Xbox Series X is going to do that. Even if it does, I think people have already tried to circumvent that on PlayStation and met some success. Maybe. I don't really know. I haven't been following up with that particular aspect of backing up stuff. Or even really, when you just migrate stuff off to your PlayStation, as far as I know, you need a hacked PlayStation to actually data mine directly from the hard drive. To data mine from a disk, that's easy. You just plop it in your Blu-ray, you read the files, you copy them, from the disk to your computer, and you run all these applications to do that. There's also the storage. When you save games and stuff, you can move the games using a thumb drive. So you move the saved content onto the thumb drive, you put that into your computer. Same thing could have been done on the PS3. These were not encrypted files or anything. There are some copy protected files, which I guess might be encrypted. I don't really know. Those are on the PS3. I don't think there are any on the PlayStation 4. So you can basically modify any PS4 save game, possibly, fairly easily. Well, it really depends, I guess. Some games, I guess, would be harder than others to modify. The end result is that people are going to immediately exploit this. Like, what is Microsoft thinking? How do they not expect this to be instantaneously, exploited in the worst possible ways, losing money for their publishers, which will likely say, no, if you're going to do that, we're not going to publish. We're not going to publish our games on your service if you're just going to allow people to freely download them and then possibly get them cracked, faster. Again, once your console is modified, that's it. That's the end of the story. If they are able to get onto the service, then they can download these games on their cracked devices, and you'd be SOL, Microsoft. I'm forecasting that this may lead to some serious piracy on the Series X. Could likely happen. Now, it's of course possible to do this on other systems as well, but the process is more limited because you actually have to pay to access the files. You have to pay just to download them. It's easy to keep modified systems off the network. It's a lot harder, to keep people from using these sorts of modified systems offline and stuff like that. Basically impossible. So, I don't know how this is going to work, but it seems like it's going to be a huge problem for Microsoft in the future, and for the publishers. The developers, people making their games, they're going to lose money, possibly, if the console is cracked quickly, and if the games can be cracked quickly. I mean, if it still takes a month to crack the games, the publishers will make some good money in that time. The developers will make some good money in that time. But once those cracked iterations are out, people will be distributing them via Tor and stuff like that. It sounds simultaneously awesome and stupid at the same time. Awesome because you won't have to wait, right? I mean, you could just download the game, and the game is exactly the same as it would be on the disc, which is another kind of problem, I guess. Well, I don't really know if that would be really a problem. I know, basically, the PlayStation discs and digital versions are different, which might be how Sony mitigates that sort of threat, right? So they're doing everything in their power to try to protect their the developers. These people are the ones that are trying to make money through their service. Sony knows that. They have obligations to the customer to make things quick, easy, painless, but they also have obligations to keep the people who are giving them third-party games happy as well. Because if they aren't making money, then we don't get games anyway. So if these companies aren't happy, then we get nothing. So Sony is actually helping us by helping them. And I guess consumers don't understand that. But that's how that works. Anyway. This is an interesting feature. I guess I don't really need to read anything else of that. I found this through N4G, but this is the URL. Or at least most of it. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I think I have to say on that. So, I'm not affiliated with this site. I don't know who owns this site or whatever. But there you go. That's what I have to say about this preloading feature. Maybe it'll be a good thing. Maybe it will lead to people cracking the games and rampant piracy on Xbox, which we also see on PC as well, of course. It's just really crazy.